So what does a healed empath actually become? If you're picturing someone who's just endlessly soft and forgiving and always available for everyone, well, you might be in for a surprise. The journey of a healed empath leads to a very different and, frankly, a much more powerful destination.
Yeah, the common image is this kind of saint of feelings, right? Someone who becomes endlessly loving and available to literally everyone. But the truth is, a healed empath becomes something very, very different. And that transformation can be pretty jarring for those who were, let's say, used to the old, more accommodating version of that person.
Okay, so let's just tackle the central myth right away. The common belief is that healing makes an empath softer, better at absorbing other people's pain, that they stop hurting themselves only so they can get better at saving everyone else.
But here's the thing. This idea of just becoming a better sponge for pain, that isn't healing. It's just emotional exhaustion with a new, fancy label. A wounded empath constantly sacrifices themselves. A healed empath stops. They don't get softer, they get clearer. So what kicks off this whole journey, this genuine healing? It almost always begins with a single, really painful realization, a turning point that forces a complete shift in perspective.
And this is it. This is the thought that sparks the fire. My empathy is being exploited. The moment an empath truly understands and accepts this, they move from being a victim of their own gift to questioning how it's being used and by whom.
And that's the internal shift right there. The empath stops asking, what do they need from me, and starts asking, what does this cost me? That simple change in focus, from outward to inward, is the pivot point for real transformation. It's the very first step toward reclaiming ownership of their emotional world.
Okay, so if they don't become softer and more available, what do they become? Let's break down the 4 core transformations that define a truly healed empath.
For starters, they become selective. Now, this doesn't mean their empathy just vanishes. Not at all. They still feel things just as deeply. But they stop granting unlimited access to their energy. They understand that a connection with them is valuable and it has to be earned.
Then something really interesting happens. They become quietly powerful. They stop over-explaining themselves, they stop trying to justify their feelings, and they no longer beg others to understand their perspective. Their silence isn't a sign of weakness or retreat. It's a reflection of their newfound clarity and self-assurance.
A huge part of this is also about boundaries. A healed empath learns to say no without that crushing wave of guilt. They finally stop confusing kindness with self-abandonment. And crucially, they step back from rescuing people who consistently refuse to save themselves.
And this all culminates in them becoming emotionally independent. They let go of the need for external validation. They stop chasing people for closure they'll never get. And, most importantly, they resign from that impossible, self-appointed job of trying to fix other people's brokenness.
Now, when someone achieves this level of self-possession, it can look, well, strange to the outside world. Because of these changes, a healed empath can suddenly appear cold or distant, especially to those who benefited from their old, boundaryless patterns.
But it is so crucial to reframe that perception. What looks cold is actually them being emotionally regulated. What appears distant is them being grounded in their own reality. And what seems less caring is simply them being self-respecting. It's a shift from chaos to calm.
So it's essential to understand that this entire transformation is not about loss. It's not about losing a part of yourself. It's about reclaiming something vital that was given away for far, far too long.
This is so important to understand. True healing doesn't remove the core gift of empathy. The ability to feel deeply for others and connect with their experience remains fully intact.
This is the key. Healing removes self-betrayal. It stops the pattern of abandoning your own needs, your own peace, and your own well-being for the sake of others who wouldn't do the same for you.
So if you've been on this journey and you feel different, don't fear that you've lost something. You still love deeply. You just do it now without losing yourself. It means you're no longer operating from survival mode. It means you've reclaimed your power.
So in the end, a healed empath doesn't become softer. They become clearer in their judgment. They become stronger in their convictions. And ultimately, they become free. And there's a powerful term for this state of being clear, strong, and free: emotional sovereignty. Healing isn't about shutting down your emotions. It's about finally becoming the rightful ruler of your own inner world. So the question this leaves us with is, are you ready to claim your own sovereignty?